We made it another week. Back another Saturday on Our Black Media with the Watchdog. And how are you doing this morning, Julius?
Awesome. We want to welcome our guest, U.S. House candidate Pati Hewitt. Did we spell your name correctly?
Yes, you did. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Okay. There's a slight delay because of a broadband issue somewhere in this state.
Yeah.
For some reason, Georgia does not have great broadband, especially in some of the rural areas.
Which is why we need a good public service commissioner.
That's why we need a great public service commissioner, and we need a better U.S. congressperson that can advocate for those things. Carlton has joined us. How you doing today, Carlton?
It's Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday.
And Carlton is almost in Alabama.
Oh, okay. Well, we got Ms. Hewitt on. And Ms. Hewitt, I know we have a slight delay, but after you hear us, I guess we'll give you a second so you can start answering. But tell us about yourself and the office you're running for and why you're running.
Yeah, happy to do that. And listen, thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on live stream with you today. So I appreciate it. As Julius mentioned, my name is Pati Hewitt. I'm the presumptive Democratic nominee for Congress in the 1st Congressional District, and I will be proud to represent the people of the 1st Congressional District in Congress. I have been involved in politics in this area behind the scenes for 9 years now. I started in Liberty County politics with the Liberty County Democratic Committee and serving on the Board of Tax Assessors, and served also on the Coastal Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
When I moved to Richmond Hill, I became involved with the Bryan County Democratic Committee as a post-seat holder for the last 2 years. I've been the chair of the Bryan County Democratic Committee. I have been our elected state delegate to the Democratic Party of Georgia, and I am the treasurer of the Rural Caucus of the Democratic Party of Georgia. And that's because I believe that this district is one that is full of opportunity and potential prosperity for its citizens, and I want to make that prosperity available to all the citizens in this area. I have been working hard to make sure that our communities are represented, and the heart and soul of my campaign are the working families of this district. And that's because I am a working family. I come from the working class, and I understand the problems and issues that working people face. I believe that we need to invest in our working families because working, prosperous families are healthy, prosperous families are well educated, prosperous families have safe places to live and to work and to play. And there are so many rural communities in our district that wish to keep the character of their communities, that wish to keep the character of their families and of their heritage in these communities. But we have to be realistic that our district needs support and it needs services that it's not getting now. So I intend to go to Congress to represent that constituency. There is another reason that I am running for Congress, and that is because I believe in a democratic form of government. I believe that the United States should continue to be the leading democracy in the world. And I will do everything that is under my power and my control to continue the United States as the great democratic experiment it has always been. I spent my professional career commercializing financial services. And what that means is that I have deep experience in navigating corporations, the economy, and regulations. Let's remember, financial services are one of the most heavily regulated industries in our country, perhaps in the world. And I was an expert in those regulations. So I have a deep experience in navigating complex corporate politics, in encouraging, motivating, and achieving consensus in order to reach shared goals. And the shared goals that I am most interested in are the shared benefits of our citizens in this district. This is what's motivating me to run. This is what motivated me to move out from behind the scenes and take my place as a candidate this year.
All right. Well, Patty, one of the things that, our viewers may not recognize is you're running for Congress. And what that means is that's a specific region within the lower part of the state, a coastal area. Could you kind of help us understand the boundaries of the district? Just, for example, I know we have people in Brunswick and Savannah that are in that district, but help our viewers understand, what does that area look like?
Sure, love to. Our District 1 in Georgia, or CD1 as we refer to it, comprises 15 counties. It covers the entire east coast of the state, from Chatham County all the way down to Camden County. So the entire east coast of the state and everything that is contained in it. And it moves inland west, probably about 100 miles, 75 miles west, to counties like Appling, like Ware, like Pierce, Wayne, Long County, Charlton County. And in addition, I'm proud to say that CD1 has Rincon. We don't have Effingham County, but Rincon is part of CD1.
That makes sense. It's part of gerrymandering.
Yeah, and that's kind of crazy, because I don't understand how you can have Rankin, which is right next to me. I mean, I can walk to Rankin, and where I live at, I can walk to Rankin in 5 minutes, and not have Springfield, which is right next to it. Not have what's the name of the city right next to it? I don't understand how you can not have the whole Effingham. There's nothing else over there besides South Carolina.
Yeah.
So how can you not have that? It don't make sense.
Yep. It often seems to us that logic and governance don't always collide.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who's in charge. If we know that our friends on the other side of the house sometimes like to, make things kind of work in their favor, and they'll do things like redraw lines, and as we saw at other races. But yeah, we know what that's about.
Yes, that is exactly right. And that really speaks to the reason why I'm running. And the reason why I'm running is because we have to take back power. We as Democrats have to take back power in this district. We have an opportunity here to flip this seat. We have an opportunity to put strong Democrats in other seats around the district. And I'm working hard with other candidates, other Democratic candidates, to put more candidates into power, because to your point, Doctor, that is what we should all be striving for. Because as we get in power, we will use power for the purpose of good. We will not use power to control. We will use power for the good of the people. And that's why I'm a loud and proud Democrat.
Okay, well, that's great to hear that you're a proud Democrat, a strong Democrat, and all the functions that you hold within the party. That is awesome. Carlton, you got any questions for her?
Not at the moment. I'm trying to gather my thoughts right now, because I'm doing.
Well, I gotta get on you and Robert about y'all thoughts. That's supposed to be done the day before the.
But no, Carlton's a very prolific thinker.
Right now, currently, I'm at work, so I'm trying to manage being on here and also deal with the group of people that I'm with.
Okay.
So we hear a cuss word or two, we won't mind.
No cussing. What are your immediate priorities once you are elected, Ms. Hewitt?
Sure. My immediate priorities are going to be look at how I can quickly make changes, or as rapidly as possible make changes that benefit more of the working families in this area. So some of the areas of focus that I will have will be healthcare and healthcare services. Now that includes a wide spectrum. So I am thinking about everything from ensuring that women have the right to privacy, safety, and security in their health care, and that those rights are returned to women. I am interested in ensuring that our citizens have access to health care insurance that they need so that we do not have double-digit uninsured rates in this district. I'm interested in ensuring that there is investments being made in clinics, in hospitals, in doctors, and other resources that healthcare needs. That's a big priority for me. Another priority for me is ensuring that we are providing affordable and accessible and safe daycare so that, once again, our parents can go to work and know that their children, their young children, are properly taken care of. But that continues all the way through universal pre-K. We should not be forcing our families to go into lotteries and see whether their children are going to get pre-K services. And we certainly shouldn't be dismantling our Head Start programs, which is what my opponent as party favors, but bolstering up and stabilizing Head Start programs and expanding them because they are so beneficial to our children. So once again, my priorities are all about the working families of this district.
Well,
Well, I do got a question now that I think about it, Robert, before you get to going. You know, you shared on your page yesterday, I think it was that, you know, Savannah has become one of the like the ninth least affordable place to live in the United States. So how do you feel about rent control and affordable housing?
You know, this is such a huge issue, not just in Savannah, but everywhere that I go in the district. This is a real and serious problem and a complicated problem. And as we know, there are only so many levers that the federal government has to affect that. Most housing and permitting around building houses and all the rest of it are local ordinances and local government. But even in saying that, the federal government does play a role. And so what we need to do is make sure that our Section 8 housing rules are adhered to and expanded if necessary. We need to make sure that developers are held to account to ensure that there is affordable housing baked into all of the development that happens. We need to put caps on the amount of rent increases that can be applied to renters so that their increases don't exceed CPI indexes or other logical indexes for growth or expansion. And we also need to make sure that our citizens are living in safe housing and housing that is habitable and available to them without having to worry about issues like mold or lack of water or bad plumbing or the rest of it that we see all over. So these are some of the ways that we can open up. We need to think about how to support and help our local municipalities think about housing and how housing can be deployed for more people at less cost. So I think there is definitely a role that the federal government has to play. And I think we all need to be vigorous in attacking this problem of lack of affordable housing all over the district.
Yeah, I agree with you on that totally, because as we've seen in our county here in Chatham, and it's growing, is the homeless rate will grow as we raise prices and affordability, so will crime grow. And so I don't think our folks in leadership understand that, which is a cycle that we keep repeating. I want to go back to the working family piece. One of the things that we know is that the criminal justice system has a deliberate attack on working families and low-income folks, especially Black and brown communities. One of the things I'm a big advocate of is making sure that whoever goes into spaces of leadership, understanding how will you advocate for a change in the criminal justice system. We know for a fact that it's disproportionately impacting people with low income. So, for example, why are we still jailing people for nonviolent crimes? So what would be your advocacy around it? Because we know, for example, the criminal justice system is now about being a cash cow, and less about a rehabilitation system.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think we need to think about, we need to begin to rethink what criminal justice really means to us as a nation and what is effective with regards to criminal justice. Continuing to just simply look for opportunities to jail our citizens, I look at, for example, the recent laws that were passed around cash bail in this state, that what it does is it criminalizes poverty. It ensures that we are going to incarcerate more people for less reason and keep them incarcerated, and therefore we are keeping them oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
So these are trends that we have to stop. And I think it's incumbent on our federal representatives to advocate for that, to ensure, just like I look at some of the work that Senator Don Ossoff is doing around the foster care system, for example. Some of it is just making this information more transparent, helping people see what is the real impact of this. We know that Black and brown people are disproportionately incarcerated. That is just a proven fact. We need to continue to amplify that and look for ways that we can put stops to that, put controls around that, to depress or to not advocate for laws with very strong minimum sentences, for example. We need to let our criminal justice, we need to let mercy into our criminal justice, but we also need to remove bias from our criminal justice. And that means we should be investing in better public defender resources so that people that are poor have better defenses. Often that is the only reason they end up in jail, is because they don't have proper defense. We insist that we offer public defenders, but we also ask these lawyers to handle hundreds of cases. It's ridiculous. We have to begin investing in our social services that support our citizens up and down the economic stratum. All lives have worth.
That's
Okay.
right.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this. One of the a huge issue that's facing people around my age, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people, is student loan debt. Because I know President Biden recently passed away. When you go to apply for a home loan, it doesn't take into account for that anymore. But it still takes a huge toll on people's accounts and being able to maintain their livelihood. Because even though they don't pay them right now and all their interest accrues, once they reach the retirement age, they start taking that money out of their, if we have Social Security by then, Social Security money. So how do you feel about student loan forgiveness or some type of student loan relief?
Yeah, I think that student loan relief is something that is really important to so many of our citizens, because the rules around student loan actually hang those barriers around their neck, sometimes for 20 and 30 years. They are not allowed to be discharged in bankruptcy, for example. There is no way to move away from these student loans. So first of all, I think we need to look at the levers that we have to help alleviate. And that begins, I think, in not accruing debt to begin with. We should be ensuring that all of our children have the opportunity to at least get 2 years of college or technical training post high school. That is an investment in our young people, and we should be making those investments. So with student loan, I also think we need to take a very close and a harder look, and from a regulatory perspective, on private colleges and for-profit colleges. Colleges whose main business model is profiting off of their students. Our schools shouldn't be allowed to profit off of students.
Right.
So I think that's an area of regulatory concern that can be addressed as well.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, Patty. You know, coming from someone who's done higher education all my life as a career, I often tell people, why not go to a state school or a private school, at that matter? But for-profit colleges, you're paying triple for the same. You know, why go to a South University when you can go to Savannah State or Georgia Southern and get the same, if not better, education at a much less of a price tag? But you know, it becomes predatory, and we all get that.
Right. You know, anytime we introduce profit into an equation, there is going to be corruption. And I think it's up to the government to ensure that they are acting as a ballast and a balance against those forces, because those forces exist. It's up to us to resist them and to ring fence them so they don't affect our citizens negatively. Why do we not want our children to thrive? Why do we not want to offer the best education in the world to our students? We are the richest country in the world. We should be investing in our children.
Okay. Well, we're gonna stand by. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. I'll play it, Robert. And then we'll be back after these few commercials. Okay.
Thanks so much.
Hold on.
Hi, I'm Katie Brewington and I'm running for Magistrate Court Judge. Magistrate Court is often called the People's Court because people represent themselves or are pro se litigants. Magistrate Court handles civil claims up to $15,000, dispossessory proceedings, pre-warrant applications, and good behavior bonds. I'm a great candidate for judge because I have the experience, compassion, and drive to get the job done. I have been a probation officer, a criminal defense attorney, a solicitor, and a municipal court judge, and I will take all of that experience to get the job done. So remember, vote Katie Brewington, May 21st, for Magistrate.
Transformative, that's what Sonia Jackson is. Creative, that's what Sonia Jackson is. Compassionate, that's what Sonia Jackson is. Leadership, that's what Sonia Jackson demonstrates. Dedicated, that's what Sonia Jackson is. Chatham County, there's never been a tax commissioner like Sonia Jackson. She has made the office more accessible, more consistent, more convenient, and more service-friendly. Let's keep Sonia Jackson while she takes the tax commissioner's office to new heights. On May 21st, cast your vote for a great public servant. Vote Sonia Jackson for tax commissioner.
Okay, we're back. We're back. And the next question goes to me. I was going to ask you what's the difference between you and Buddy Carter, but you've made such a fine presentation as to what the differences are with you and Buddy. You care. You have compassion. You want to do things for people instead of for just companies. So we all are behind you with your efforts to unseat Buddy Carter. So I'm going to go to my next question. Are you familiar with the weeping time slave trade and the land that's being disputed now in the west side of Savannah?
Yes, I am.
And your thoughts?
I think that the position that this area holds as one of the most important regions for the African American history of our country must and shall be preserved. I think that the history of the African American people in this region is deep and vast and must be preserved and promoted and talked about and taught in our schools. The weeping time represents a horrific incident, but it is part of our history. Our Gullah Geechee community represents horrific example of forced immigration and enslavement, but it must be preserved and taught. Our United States contains both glory and shame, and they are complete in our history, and we should be teaching, preserving our entire history. I feel very strongly about that, and I'm a very strong supporter of ensuring that we are protecting these sites so that future generations can learn the entire story, our entire American story, as I said, in all its glory and all its shame.
Okay. Robert?
Well, Petty, I don't think you know this, but I have roots in Liberty County. Got a lot of folks. I don't know if you know the Harrises or Sam Harris. We have a gym there in Hinesville, but we know that there is a distinct not cultural difference, but each county has its own identity. That's what I'm looking for. And so, how have you taken the opportunity to kind of engage with the different identities of every county when I was doing PSC, Ware County was still a concern of mine. We got a young brother down there. I forget his name. Oh God. Anyway, but we have counties that are disproportionately driven by our Republican counterparts, and they don't play fair. So how have you kind of engaged in each county to understand their needs and desires, and understand the work you've got to put in there? Because we know, and all of us on this panel know, if you don't flip those rural counties, it becomes a very hard challenge of winning these races.
Yeah. Thanks so much for bringing that up, because you are 100% right. I have been spending the majority of my time in these outer counties. As a matter of fact, I was in Appling County just last night at a candidate for, I spent all day in Appling County meeting with community activists, community leaders, representatives from organizations like the NAACP and the VFW, to learn at a deeper level the issues that they're really dealing with. So, for example, in some of the counties, we learned that there is, as we know, voter suppression. No surprise there. Georgia is quite good at that. They're very adept at these kind of practices.
Yeah.
But we were able to uncover some things that happened. I was able to connect some of the local activists with resources and voter protection. And now there is real change going to be happening in some of these areas. So this is something that's really important to understand. As you said, each area has its own character. Each area has its own problems and challenges, but each area also has its opportunity. So the way I've been doing and handling that is just being present where I am invited, being present where people are eating lunch or having coffee, being present and listening in particular to their community leaders and their citizens. I think the listening part is very important, because it allows me to understand at a deeper level what they're really dealing with and how potentially I could help when I'm in office.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mr. Carter? You're muted.
You're muted.
One thing that I say that bothers me right now is inflation and the fact that stuff continuously going up. Watching a TikTok story about earlier today about how the fact that a woman went in the store to buy infant formula, and the infant formula has significantly increased by like $15 per can. We all know that inflation inflation has to happen, but the rate that the inflation is currently happening is absolutely outlandish. What are your thoughts on that, or what are some things you propose that could be done once you hold the seat that the man who's currently there does nothing about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's an excellent question. Let me address it this way. I believe that to really solve problems, we have to look at the root cause of these problems. So let's talk about food or formula, for example. We know that formula and food are created by corporate conglomerates. There is no competition in these industries. There is just a few industries that control many of these very important services that we as citizens need. Baby formula is one of those. I believe there's only 3 or 4 companies that actually produce baby formula. Once again, government can play a role in ensuring that corporation is not profiting indiscriminately off of its customers, so that they are not price gouging and they are not formulating prices in order to maintain their height. The other problem we have with food right now is, once again, food is produced and delivered through conglomerates. This is one reason why Kroger and Albertsons were denied the ability to merge. And that's because they would have created an even larger monopoly than they already own, because collectively those 2 companies own way more than half the food brands, food delivery brands in this country. So I think one of the ways that we can deal with these kinds of issues are through our making sure we have strong antitrust laws and we enforce our laws that are already on the books. We need to ensure there is nothing wrong with companies making profit. So don't misunderstand me. We are a capitalist society. Profit making is okay, but there's a difference between profit making and profiteering. And the government has a role in ensuring that our companies make profits but are not profiteering.
Okay. One of the questions I have, again, and it's kind of controversial. It really shouldn't be, but it is. And that is what's taking place today. We got about 10 or 15 minutes left with you. So I want to get what your view is on this. We got about 926 people watching on three different platforms. And we just want to, I got two questions, so we might have to run a little long, but one is, I don't know whether you're familiar with what's happening on Tybee Island right now with Orange Crush and them not, the city not wanting to allow those visitors to the beach to participate and enjoy the beach. Are you familiar with that, and do you have any thoughts on it?
I am familiar with that. I have been reading what has been going on there, and I know that you guys are going to dive into that in a lot more detail a little bit later on, and I applaud those conversations because that's what needs to happen, is to have these conversations so that we can understand. First of all, I think we need to listen to everybody's point of view around Orange Crush, but we really need to understand what is really driving individuals not wanting Orange Crush on Tybee. Now we're seeing this kind of pushback, not just in our area, but we're seeing it in other areas like Florida as well. Communities are pushing back, that live in these areas are pushing back on a lot of these events if they believe that they are becoming too unruly or they're too difficult to manage. So there does need to be a dialogue there. But Orange Crush is something that should, once again, be protected. It's something that should be a point of pride for this community, that we have a gathering space for young people to go. Now, young people have a responsibility to act responsibly, and there's no reason not to ask people to do that. So I think that there needs to be a longer, deeper dialogue about this so that we can reach accommodations if they need to be reached, but that we should preserve Orange Crush and activities like it for future generations.
Yeah, I like your perspective on that, because I agree with you. We may not, a lot of times, even with the word Freaknik, we automatically in our minds go to this big street party. But like you said, if it's done responsibly and if we put some guardrails around it, we can actually preserve this to be, much more than just a big party. Maybe there's some educational components, so we build in some learning around it. But
That's right.
I totally agree with you. I think a lot of times, because there's misunderstanding on both sides of the aisle of the conversation, that we miss opportunities to build something even greater and sustainable.
Yeah, and we're going to have a discussion on this after you are off. We have a part 2 to the show for Orange Crush, but it really needs to be thought out a little. I have some things I want to say, but it'll be on the next part of the show. Carlton, you got any questions left for Ms. Hewitt? If not, I have one left.
Oh, I'm gonna say how, as generations change, the new voting pool comes in. How has your relation to the next generation come about? How is your engagement with that age demographic going?
That I think I've had good conversations and good outreach and good opportunities with our younger voters, but they are voters that must be persuaded. They are skeptical, and rightfully so, because they are watching us not act as adults. They're watching us act as children, and they're saying, I think maybe we can do better. One of the ways that I'm trying to advocate for younger people is I am actively seeking out and connecting my campaign to younger people that are running for local offices, that are running for county commission offices and school board races and the rest. because I want to support those candidates and try to help those candidates get over. It also gives me insight into how they're thinking, into what the issues are that are most important to them, and how I can address their needs as well. Not an easy constituency to get to, because many young people are sitting things out, but I want to invite them and encourage them to lean in, to vote in their best interest, and especially to look for candidates that represent them. And there are a lot of good young candidates around our district. So I'm doing everything I can to promote that.
Okay.
Yes,
Well, that's
ma'am.
good. I'm gonna say I agree because the younger generation, they are, because like I say, in relation to everything that we discussed, social media has made everything so much more connected and so much more easier access for information. So when they get that distrust, they do feel like, oh, I'm just gonna sit this out. But the one thing that we must completely learn is that sitting it out does not solve the problem. It adds to the issue.
Thank you so much for saying that. I couldn't have said it better.
Okay. And I got one question, that my last question, and I want to make sure
Okay.
that, because it affects Robert talked about it earlier, Dr. Bryant talked about it earlier. The PSC, the Public Service Commission seats, they're a statewide voter for the voters. Everybody in the state get to vote, but you only represent a certain region of the state. I don't think that's a good look, just my opinion. Are you familiar with how they do those seats? And Robert, you might can expound on it a little better before she answers.
Yeah. So Patty, it's almost like running for governor. When Daniel Blackman and I ran the first time, it almost running for governor. What we have hoped for, and I'm not sure what the conversation and where that is right now because I haven't done my research, but is to vote by district. And so, for example, like you're running for Congress in CD1, only residents in CD1 would vote for that seat, for that candidate. If you were running like you were running for the PSC, everybody in Georgia would vote for the CD1, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the pathway. It may have changed. I have not read the last judgment, but it even gets worse than that if you really want to know the real craziness behind it, because they have figured out a way to, you're talking about voter suppression that's best. The other part of this is, let's say Julius is now a Republican PSC, Tim Echols. He's Tim Echols, right? So with Tim about to retire, instead of Tim retiring and letting the voters choose, he'll retire mid-term, let the governor pick the new person, and then when that person runs, they are now the incumbent, which is, hey, I just think it's voter suppression. And so that's how they've held a stronghold on that whole commission. The problem is Georgia Power gets to do what they want. And so, yeah.
Right. And this is all, this all goes back to, where do the benefits accrue and how are those benefits protected? PSC is a great example of, in my opinion, simply ensuring that districts are not represented by their citizens, but they're represented by those that are in power and that are in partnership with the corporations that they are supposed to regulate. One of the real problems we have in this country is we allow our private corporations to write our regulations, to have undue and untoward influence in our regulations. These are real ties that have to be separated. And sorry, my grandkids are here, so you can probably hear them in the background. But yes, that is a real issue. We don't have any representation there because people aren't able to vote for representatives that can really represent what their districts want. So once again, we have minorities directing the majority.
And I want to applaud you for having your grandkids. You got to tell your story, Patty. You are a working mom, and we know what working families, all of us on here, sometimes grandma has to help out in that process of working, because guess what? So you got to tell that story, Patty. You missed that story. You got to tell that story.
Yeah.
That's a powerful
my
piece.
daughter and I live with my daughter and my grandchildren. My daughter works on the weekends, and so I help out with the babysitting. And it's just part of life, and it's part of a lot of people's lives.
That's
And
right.
it's a part of my life too.
That's right. That's important because we have working families out here. We
Yep.
have certain moms who are working 2 and 3 jobs just to keep that.
That's right.
So that becomes important in these rural communities, important in particular, because they're disproportionately impacted by the policies that are being made in Washington. So
That's exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, tell everybody how to get in touch with you, how to donate or volunteer on your campaign before you leave, and we do part 2 of this show.
First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate the opportunity to present my campaign and present myself to the public. My campaign website is Patti for Georgia. Very simple, PATTIFOR Georgia. You can find that on my Facebook page as well, Pati Hewitt for Congress, and on Instagram, Pati Hewitt for Congress. Those are the best ways to find me. You've got, you can donate to my campaign that way, and I appreciate your support very much. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to try to get you back one day where there is clear, nothing but clarity, where you're not at home, because we know that you live out in that part of your county. So we want to get you again where we can have everybody have a better look, because your picture kind of froze with technical difficulties with the internet service in that area. And we want to get you back after a while before the election and have another in-depth conversation with you. Okay?
Thanks so much.
all right, best wishes, man. We'll see you soon.
All right, we're going to go to
Thank you.
a commercial, and then we'll be back with part 2 of our show, which is Orange Crush and the debacle that's happening with the government agencies not wanting to be fair to everybody, just want to be fair to some people. So we'll be right back in a second.
Hello, I'm Richard Coleman, and I'm running for the office of Sheriff of Chatham County. And when I'm elected, I promise to inspect what I expect. Chatham County, it's time for a change, and that change is me, Richard Coleman.
All right, we're back. We're back with part 2 of our show, and it's gonna be hot. Look at the good brother down there weighing his fraternity insignias, and you know, they say some people out there trying to find you guys.
They're always looking for us.
Yeah.
They're always looking for us now. I'm telling you.
They say.
They always look for us now.
They say y'all are the sponsors of the beach.
No, it ain't.
Well,
That's Jay Jones and them. That's some cues. See, Jay Jones and them, they do that foolishness. I can talk about Jay.
Yeah. So, welcome, Dr. Torre. Good to have you.
Yes, sir. I pulled over because the president of Our Black Media said he doesn't like for folks to be driving, and so I have a wedding to go to also. But I'm going to be with you all as long as I possibly can. But yeah, that's why I pulled over, so I won't be driving because I don't need to have no issue, no comments made by the president of Our Black Media.
Yeah, that guy, that's a nice guy though. He only means good for you. I know him personally.
Well,
But you gotta get home and put
Dr.
on.
Robert Bryan said he disagreed. I just got a text message. He just text say, I disagree. Absolutely.
so y'all, but I know we about to talk about Orange Crush. I just saw Alicia Miller Blakely. She drove out. Let me tell you something. I love that sister there because she's literally out on Tybee right now. But one of the things we want to talk about, Carlton, I don't know if you met Dr. Trey before, but we're on today. We don't want to. We know how we got here, right? You know, one of the comments I made last night on the page, and I'm very, very, very upfront with this, is that I'm so interested in how in Chatham County. I'm on Chatham County about this too. It's interesting how Tybee and Chatham County will welcome. They want green dollars, but when it comes to black folk giving those green dollars, they have a problem. I want to kind of start there because that's the main issue I see. Is we don't. Y'all don't y'all don't do all that foolishness when a hurricane comes. Let's not even talk about St. Patrick's, but y'all don't put that much law enforcement for a hurricane. So why the hell we got to have it now?
So is it that they don't want black dollars? They want black dollars, but black dollars to be complicit in whatever they have going on. That's what they want, black dollars like that. But when black dollars evolve, and see, well, I have to share this with y'all. WSAV ran a story on yesterday. And as I spoke with Najee Enzi last night, I told him, and I talked to Dr. Ifikon Simon earlier that day. What happened in 35 years, this was the first time ever the original story of Orange Crush ever came out. In 35 years, so in 3.5 decades, no one ever understood what was involved in Orange Crush. Orange Crush was tied to student activism because of protests that were going on at Savannah State regarding the administration. And in addition, it was now tied to the preservation of Savannah State because they were looking at merging Savannah State and Armstrong. That had always been the threat with regards to that. So Orange Crush was tied to that. This was the first time that story ever came out. And I told folks, I said, that's why I was pushing some of this right here. And so, yeah, they do want black dollars. And one of the things that when I was interviewed by SAV, by Sean Watkins, I said to them, he said, what should people do? I said, we should spend money with black folks. Spend money with black folks and spend money with allies of black folks. That's what you don't spend money with people who don't like you. You spend it with us. So I'm like saying, yeah. So as long as if I spend money with folks who don't like me, that's complicit with regards to from a Labor Day celebration to a Memorial Day celebration, St. Patrick's Day celebration, or anything. If it's the house, the tour homes, any of that, the book festival, I do any of that right there. See, it's all good. It helps. It helps with regard to Visit Savannah and all the other mechanisms for tourism to bring people here. There are a whole bunch of people in the city of Savannah right now, and I'm not talking about the Orange Crush. There are a lot for Orange Crush, but then also other people. You go downtown Savannah right now, like I was downtown, oodles and oodles of people all over the place. But guess what? And they don't mind them black dollars coming to them. But as long as they're the ones in charge and in control.
We got the alderwoman and the former alderwoman. They were headed out to Tybee to see how things are going out there. So they're going to give us a report from out there.
And they got on 2 pieces too. Now they didn't tell y'all that.
Somebody get out there and take those pictures.
They said Tanya was in the car too.
Tanya's going to a wedding. Where's your mom going at?
Carlton, go ahead.
There too, but I got to go check on my mom.
I mean, we all know why they don't. We all know why they don't want us. Why they don't want us on Tybee? Because Tybee has become a sun. I'm gonna say Tybee is a sundown town. If you ain't realize it, now you realize it.
Yep. I understand it. Why do you think it's a sundown town? I want to dig a little deeper in that.
Because if you ain't off of Tybee, if you are us and you are not off Tybee by before that sun go down, you will get harassed and you will want to leave. because we are not supposed to be out there after a certain point in time. Like he said earlier, it's okay if we spend our dollars on their time by their rules, but when you want to be out there, when they want to be solely out there, that becomes the issue. Because I legitimately last night I got into a whole discussion with somebody on social media about Orange Crush, and I had to compare it to St. Patrick's Day. And I told them, they was like, it's not about race, it's about the violence, the this, that, and the third. And I said, have you been to St. Patrick's Day? The same thing goes on. He told me that was a reach. I said no. I said just because WSAV and WTLC does not report on it does not mean that same things does not happen or worse.
Mm-hmm. So,
but
what you're presenting is behavioral activities that occur. You know, and I think, Terry, we talked about this with Patti Hewitt a moment ago. One of the things I have an issue with, we look at an Orange Crush, a Freaknik, and all these things, Daytona Beach, and we automatically build these bad connotations in our mind. Historically, this has become a problem, right? We look at things like MLK Day as a day of agitation. I don't understand how. Well, I do understand how we've gotten there, and there is a way for us to, you know, because like Patty said, I think we need to preserve all of our moments of what I call fellowship. Right? These opportunities give us a chance to fellowship with one another, and you know, I'm even big on, you know, for example, Atlanta has what you call Pride Days, right? So we've got to step out of the negative of it, and how can we, as allies of these different events and spaces, build in opportunities where it is progressive and it is supporting our communities and making sense, because these are not bad events. It's just that you got folk who don't understand it or don't want it around, or those who are just downright racist who don't support it.
You know, I'm not gonna say that everybody's down racist, but I will say in the aspect of this, social media has played a huge role in why these things have gotten out of control. Social media has attracted a lot of people who didn't know about the event. Now they come down to it. But the whole aspect of it is it needs some sort of control. If they would coordinate with local agencies, the Department of Commerce, different law enforcement agencies, so they could have people in place as a tactic to prevent all of this stuff happening, they truly could make this an event where the city of Tybee benefits from the economics of it, as well as the city of Savannah and the county of Chatham.
Yeah, and there's an economic piece to this, but I'm going to turn it back to Dr. Ture, who, you know, we presented a lot, but there's an economic benefit to this, and I just it kind of disturbs me that people miss that part. You know, there was a particular beach down there. You know, the beach that we had that you all had to Bob Marley, and I think she closed shop. And I'm like, why would you do that?
What that last part you said about the Bob Marley?
Well, remember you all had the Bob Marley festival for his birthday at that at the North Beach Bar and Grill. I believe, if I'm correct, I believe they may have shut down, and they were like, well, and I'm like, this is a great weekend to build up economic, you know, this is when you're gonna get the revenue. Like, what's going on?
Well, I'll just throw some things out at you. When we talk about this, that you can be at Tybee as long as you want. That's what I'm just going to throw. You can be if you're black, you can be at Tybee as long as you want. Because people go out there, folks go out there, people are out at Tybee, folks go out there at Tybee. But then it's still, they are controlling when we're out there. And so, just like what we had said in the interviews yesterday, and some of it, if you don't understand this, that's for all the listeners and viewers out there right now. Orange Crush itself is a child of the wait-ins that occurred at Tybee. That's what Orange Crush was. Orange Crush, the beginning of Orange Crush was a continuation of the wait-ins at Tybee. Because guess what? When I talk about the student activism part, because people understood the power of what we had and what we could do, and that power then also resonated not just with regard to the people, with regard to the business people, but it resonated also for Savannah State. That it increased the enrollment at Savannah State. That's what it was all tied to. Yeah, so it was. See, again, we tell folks, when you are myopic, that's how you think.
That's again how they, and that's why I told them what they've created these narratives, and we discussed it. So Naja and I last night, I told Naja, I said, Naja, this is the first time in 35 years that people now really got the full story of it. We have been saying it. I have been telling people about it, but folks weren't necessarily grab a hold to it. But it took this right here for now to finally come out, for people now to understand, like, wait a minute. When Jamal is saying this was the Pan-African event, that it was Pan-Africanism, because it also generated revenue, again, for student government that went to Savannah State, that also enrollment for Savannah State, it helped with regards to recruiting, and then the people who are there on Tybee. But now we're saying, yo, you don't spend your money on people who don't like you, and I put it out there squarely, and I told folks, just like Carlton, one of the things that I said in the article, I said, yo, it's racism. It doesn't matter. When I was there with Cali Cole, I said right there, let's just do the ism. It's no, if it's racism, it's racism. If race is the issue, you go and say it. Don't mollycoat none of this for these other people like that, and don't let them. And I'm saying to the audience out there, don't never let them minimize you for saying something like that. And so the economics is beneficial to everybody. So again, some people, just like right now, I had somebody call me from one of the tour companies, one of the Caucasian-owned tour companies. She called and said, Jamal, I'm seeing black people here in Savannah with Lamborghinis. I said, yeah, yesterday I did a tour yesterday. Folks was downtown. They like, look like, you see them brothers, they got Maseratis. So they were like, and the sister that said, she said, Jamal, these people came here for Orange Crush. And she said, guess what? These are not no hoodlums. These are successful people going. I said, that's right. I said, but we have allowed the media and the crazy behind people over there. And this mayor at Tybee right now is absolutely working on being racist. You know, he's walking that line. They're walking the line of discrimination. So again, but what happened, and I'm just sharing this with y'all, on yesterday, Alderman Keisha Gibson Carter called me yesterday, and she said, Jamal, no fraternity, no sorority, no organization, 100 black men, no links, no Jack and Jill. None of them has said anything. The NAACP said nothing about it. She said, but you've been the one out there constantly. And she said, I've not really realized when you talking about being the one-man NAACP, you've been out there. I'm like saying, right. That's why I keep screaming and hollering at folks. We got to stop. I'm not preaching right now. I am stating. I'm not speaking with no doggone passion. I'm speaking with purpose right now. That I'm telling people, we got to stop this foolishness that everybody directing us, and we've so myopic and I think not seen the full story of it. And I said, guess what? What you see when black folks not engage in capitalism, the orange crush that you see right now is black folks engaging in capitalism. Not the good capitalism, but this is the negative capitalism, because once Savannah State got out of it, then you got people who not only they're only concerned with the profit. So that's why they just fell apart. But people were going out there able to get permits, but then we allowed it as black folks because we never step up to the plate. And guess what? It's the elders. I'm saying you elders out there, ain't none of y'all saying nothing. Now y'all set the page up for them to not go ahead and punish our young people out there on that beach. Y'all set the stage for any African-American who is a middle-aged person that not be set up for the beach, to be destroyed at that beach for the rest of their lives. Because again, y'all sit silent about it. And that's why I keep saying to folks, I speak out because I know somebody got to say something. Because if you say nothing, you're going to continue this oppression. And this is insane. The monies and all that. Look at what Chatham County also did. Chatham County played their role too by saying, hey, we had a concern. And I'm like saying, come on now. Savannah and Chatham County, we got to do better. And I'm talking about black folks. Why we continue to let other people, non-black folks, tell us on how to function and how to act? So it ain't just ain't about no Tybee, and I tell people, this ain't about no Tybee, ain't about no city of Savannah. It's us. Put the mirror on your face and see how you ain't doing nothing. I want to use profanity, but I know the president gonna say I shouldn't say that. So I want to say, put the mirror on yourself and look at what you ain't doing nothing.
Well, and to cover everything and to make sure that we are not just advocating that there shouldn't be some type of law enforcement present, because when you have that kind of crowd,
we get that. Yeah, we get that.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you have that type of crowd, you need law enforcement.
Right.
And but law enforcement is working with the government officials to thwart the enjoyment of this weekend for those kids. And I understand, and you need law enforcement, because without law enforcement, there's chaos. Now you only have that one little inkling of those people who ain't even college students.
Yeah.
who are causing all the problems. Believe me, on St. Patrick's Day, and I worked 9 or 10 of them as a police officer. On St. Patrick's Day, it was worse. They was running around naked. They was knocking police officers out. It was throwing all over the damn place, trash everywhere. If you can put this type of funds in the St. Patrick's Day, you can put this type of funds into a smaller event for Orange Crush or Freaknik or whatever is here in Savannah, because it's about the enjoyment of everybody. Everybody pays their taxes when they go in these stores. Everybody pay their property taxes and everything else. The government officials work for us, but like you said, Jamal, you and Keisha, nobody is together on this. We're the only platform that is talking about it. Name another one. We're the only platform talking about it. The shows on this platform, and nobody else. Where is the NAACP? Where are the fraternities? Where are the officials who we elect in the state and the county and the city? They ought to be saying it is something that can be done. Now, me and my wife, we were talking, and I thought, and this is just my opinion, it needs to be organized.
Yeah.
And we need to get Grayson Stadium and have a concert for them, and have the police. You got to have security. We could get Memorial Stadium and have a concert for them. We can get. They can go to Daffin Park and have an event. Listen, all it takes is just security, so you can get that bad element out. People are going there to enjoy themselves, to have fun, just like everybody else in this county is trying to have fun and having their events. But you want to make sure that their event is not done.
But you do realize that they tried to have an event at Lake May, and they filed for the permits to have for a party there, and the city of Savannah denied them.
I got it right here.
It was Chatham County.
It's right there, Chatham County.
And I would have done it anyway. Let's see that.
But Robert, you trying to go? Robert, I know John Lewis said it's okay for good trouble, but baby, we ain't trying to go.
Sometimes you gotta shake the apple tree and let the apples fall and make apple juice. That's just how I roll. Because at the end of the day, then I would have sued the county chairman and all the motherfuckers. Excuse my language. All of them down there, because you can't do that. That's just bad business.
Well,
I would look at our state senator. Where's our state senator and all this? Where are our representatives? And then all them. Stop playing around and playing footsie with one another. Do some damn work.
Yeah, and it's got to be fair. We elect you to make sure that everything is fair. If you're outvoted, at least you got to advocate for it. We don't care whether you outvoted and you don't have the votes for it. Show us that you're doing what we sent you there for.
But watch this. When it comes time, and go back to what you said earlier, Dr. Ray, when it comes time to talk about consolidation, see, then y'all want to come puff up and look like you're doing something. This is where all this started from in the beginning. And causing this impacts you. And I mean, I know I joke with you a lot, but you all talking about money. Everything is driven by economics. You want to consolidate the oldest public HBCU in the state, right? So now you have this protest many years ago. You're still trying to do it. Let's not play around with it. You got Kemp and Sonny Perdue still trying to do it. And so let's not forget that conversation. So that's the part. It's all intertwined around economics, right? And telling us what we can't do. And then you got local folks who trying to take our black communities. We got to get together, folks. Y'all are making it's a much bigger, broader picture here. You see, we're missing a major. You know them big cargo ships that go down the river. We're missing a huge cargo ship right in front of us.
I mean, but Robert, what you expect? Let's not forget they defunded Juneteenth.
Yeah.
So why would they fund such a small that? And that would be a much larger, to me, that would be a much larger thing for them to get ahead of and get behind so they can make benefit and make money. Because in Texas, the city of Dallas has a almost week-long celebration for Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Well, I want to share what Julie said to add on, or I should say to add on to what Julie said. One of the things that also what I shared folks with Calico, with SAB, one of the things I shared, guess what? They know for a fact that when Armstrong was holding its beach festival, that when Georgia Southern was holding its beach festival, when SCAD was holding its beach festival, they had underage drinking. They know that. That has never been put out there, but they know that underage drinking was going on. If you go look at some social media accounts, that back in the day, you would see some underage drinking going on at those events by those colleges. But then again, that's why I said, again, they look at us. And so that's why I'm going with, so throw it out there for some of y'all. When y'all go, we understand, we want to have law enforcement. We abhor any violence. We abhor that. So we right there on that. Understand that, folks. But then you have other people engaging in underage drinking. And as I share, folks, you all know there were some sexual assaults that occurred also tied to underage drinking and drinking, even for St. Patrick's Day. And it's not in the past. We're talking about in 2024 that some of that occurred. But we ignore that. Then just to go and say, hey, look at what we're doing. And so the reporter asked me yesterday, and that's going to line with something Julius said. What I had said, you know how you do the DBEs, training and the workshops, all that for MWEs. You do the training and say, how can you get contract with the city, with the county, with the federal government, the state government? I said, Tybee could do a workshop on trust, because there are people who want to get permitted. So you do a workshop if you want to do that. I say, that's why, because I say oftentimes they throw stuff at us thinking we don't have solutions. I tell folks, no. If you ask me a question about something, guess what? Jamal can spit an answer out to you. And so when I said, the brother's like, yo, I said, that's right, if they want it. I said, but even some people did go to them to try to get permits, and they still were declaring it with regards to giving the people a permit. So again, it goes right back to them trying to undermine it. And that's what is going on. But yeah, if they want, do the workshop. So then that way, and so when we look at it, if the county wants to go, the county could do it. If the city of Savannah want to do it, because again, understand, that's Tybee. We always got to make sure we understand.
Right.
Tybee is a municipality.
Yes.
So what Tybee does is separate from the city of Savannah, from Port Wentworth, from Bloomingdale, from Thunderbolt. So we got to focus on that. Why I just going to throw it out there. So if the county want to do something, county can go and do the same thing. But then, like saying, hey, because there are people not. JB has said he wants to be involved with regard to something. Kenneth Flo, who was the originator of it, wanted to be involved. That's just it. And Jadon Grant, he's having a beach cleanup with regard to that. He said on the 22nd. So, and he's a recent graduate of Savannah State. Guy going to get his master's. But yeah.
But I agree with you. I think this will be a great opportunity too for Savannah State to look at offering enrollment opportunities. So why not use this as a kickoff to enroll all of the valedictorians and salutatorians throughout the state and bordering states free admission? That's how you build your enrollment. So we've got to start looking at more proactive ways. Get the people like JB and those who want to be involved to develop programming around it. This is a way to elevate an institution that has said it's been in struggle. We don't have to wait on Governor Kemp, and we don't have to wait on Sonny Perdue to do this. These are things we can be proactive in. And so that's what I mean about being, like Julie said, let's build in some stuff, but we got to do it together and think outside the box, because nobody going to give us anything. As we heard earlier, Patty said, we got to take it.
And Savannah State's not going to do it. So that's why it's going to have to be you all. You all going to do this. It cannot. Savannah State is not in a position right now to do any of that, because Savannah State does not have a president. So Savannah State's not in the position for that. So I'm saying to all y'all out there who look, the viewers, so it got to be you all. It got to be your organization. It got to be you. Yeah. You all got to be the ones to not go and do that.
Nonprofits, Mr. Carlton.
Yeah, I'm saying,
yeah.
For-profit, nonprofit. It got to be entities outside Savannah State, because Savannah State's not. In fact, let y'all know, Sonny Perdue was on the campus of Savannah State this week right here. USG, all the USG was pretty much down here at Savannah State. But, when it comes down to Savannah State down position, they don't have a president. So you don't have the leadership there for that to occur at this point right now. Yeah. So that means the people in the community, concerned citizens, have to be the ones to go and do it. And concerned Black citizens. But so sadly, I'm going to the point Julius made, here goes so-called Black leadership and doing diddly with regards to it. And let not people be led to the slaughterhouse if need be, when it don't have to happen like that.
Black leadership for this day and age tend to have a tendency to show up for the cameras, and when it's beneficial for them, for the voters to see them, oh, they were there, they did this, they did that. But that's just being a figurehead and not actually holding accountability for the seat that you actually hold.
Yeah, it's something that has to be done. It just takes the people who want to be involved in this, because if I was an entertainer in the entertainment business, in that aspect rather, then because I have a bunch of crazy people on shows already, so I'm in the entertainment business.
Robert.
Robert. So
Thanks, Carlton. I appreciate that.
so but I would organize something and get it registered with the state and get your tax ID number and everything, and make it a for-profit entity, and then get your licenses and hold events around spring break, you know, and
there is an Orange Crush now. There's an Orange Crush Festival. That's already it's copyrighted, trademark. That's something separate. So that's why I'm saying that's why I'm throwing out there. If y'all want to do something out there in the audience, you gotta go and do it. So again, the brother Georgie, he already has an Orange Crush, and they do stuff throughout. They do in Jacksonville, other places, but I'm just saying. So they already got that. So I'm just saying, individuals right now, you gotta go and do it if you want to do it.
I mean, it could be Orange Crush 2.0. It could be called anything. He got that trademark, but you can have similar so you can keep the Orange Crush part of it. I'm sure that he don't have no trademark on it. It costs like hell to do a trademark. He probably got it incorporated. He ain't got no damn trademark on it.
Well, I'm just saying we ain't got to go through. I'm just saying we ain't got to go. That's wasting time. I'm like saying y'all got nonprofits. Why your nonprofit can't do something? That's what I'm saying. We got.
Hey.
Not that I'm saying this. Why can't our black media just go and do something?
Hey,
we ain't got to go through and bam, and we gonna do it. But I'm not saying for our black media to do it.
You one of the founders.
The president is going to try to.
You one of the founders. You and Van Johnson, one of the founders. You and Van can get together and do it also.
Listen,
y'all the founders.
I got a solution.
But you trained us, Julius Hall. You trained us.
I got a solution.
You are the granddaddy of it, so I ain't going to get into that.
This is your granddaddy.
He's the granddaddy.
I want to see it be successful. I want to see it be successful. I want to see where you have that type of event where we can go out there, like they have the music festival in Jacksonville where we
make it a new beach and all.
You know, and now you got the beach here, and I like to see it be successful. I don't think that Tybee has done enough because they don't want people moving there of color. I don't think they've done enough to build the city up anyway with the type of hotels and luxury hotels. And who wants to go stay on Tybee? You know what I'm saying? I don't even know a hotel.
Luxury hotels.
Baby, that water at night,
what
man.
Luxury hotels? Tybee Hotels.
I'm saying they need that
on Bay Street.
They need that is what I said.
I'm about to drive. If I get there and I can get hot back on, do that. I don't know because I don't want to be sensitive about the president.
All right, go ahead. We got a wedding. Go ahead to the wedding.
The solution is Rashida Edwards. She'll get it done. I'm gonna tell you that's that work.
We need to be behind Rashida and getting it done because it's
going
to take a lot. Because see, they're gonna require you to be insured with all these events and everything. You have to be. Protect yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I would much, like I said, you said police, like it needs a police presence, but I would much rather have private security out there versus having the police, because I feel like we could have more control over the crowd versus having to deal with bringing in law enforcement agencies. But also, like you said, change the name. You don't have to directly change the name. Do like Prince did when they was trying to hold Prince down. Prince changed his name to the artist formerly known as Prince. Change it to the party formerly known as Orange Crush.
Yeah.
Or the event, something like that along the line.
Crushing on orange. It could be anything. You know, you can name it what you want to name it. It's just having the event around this particular time around spring break. But I think that you do need, people don't respect mall cops. So you're not going to get the respect out of the citizens. They're not going to respect mall cops. You can't have that type of, if you're going to have fun, you can have fun, do what you need to do, whether the police there or not. You shouldn't have no fear of the police. The police is supposed to be there to help you. They're not there to hurt you. They're supposed to be there to help you.
I am a young Black African-American male. I have no choice but to naturally have a fear of the police. Not that I should, but I have no choice.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. And in today's society, you should. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is that's not their function. And we have to get out of that mentality where we make the police understand that they work for you. that they're there to protect you, not just to patrol you or to police you. You know, they're there to protect you also. So it needs to be organized. I think that once this event gets organized and you have functions where I don't want to have the event, what good is it to me if I can't? I mean, and I'm not being selfish. I'm saying, let's have the event. You go to the Memorial Stadium, you have a concert. You got to make money off of it, because if something happens, you got to pay.
Hey,
you know.
Hey,
that's why we have insurance. That's why you get insurance for the events.
Well, and I want to add this, you all. For some people who don't know, it is also National 420 Day. So when you mix that in the element, that's my biggest fear too. You know what y'all know what 420 Day is, right?
That's Marijuana Day, right?
Thank you.
Well, now this is another part that I wanted to get, and we don't want to, but like I said, it's that small element that takes advantage of things. That's very small element that takes advantage of things and make it bad for everybody else. Look at this right here.
Take your edibles. Just take your edibles. Don't take your real stuff. I ain't said that.
Traffic stop nets, drugs, and arrests on Tybee Island.
And Tina giving y'all face. Tina giving y'all face.
Hold on, Robert.
Oh.
Troopers responded to Tybee Island Friday evening in what authorities call a massive drug bust. What started as a traffic stop led to the Georgia State Patrol to find a substantial amount of drugs. When you know they overblowing everything. It probably was just
that's what you call a DN. That's what you call a DN. Y'all fit in the world.
I mean, but I'm genuinely not surprised that they're gonna blow it out of proportion regardless or not. Because like I told you earlier, like I told that man, WTOC and WSAV gonna report it. But I'm pretty sure by Monday or at least by tomorrow, the TikTok stories will be out. Those are the most reliable stories that you gonna get, because they're gonna actually people do it. Of course, it's gonna be some crazy stuff. Then they're gonna move from Tybee back into the city of Savannah, and it's gonna be a whole different function. But we all realize what Tybee is. Tybee is about making as much money off of this as possible, and to pay for their new police cars, because we all know the Tybee's police budget and everything else is kind of small. So you know how police operate. They got to have they got to meet their quotas, and this allows them to meet their quotas.
Well, they're going to be in Savannah tonight, I assure you, because last year you couldn't move down there after Orange Crush, and it's going to be much of the same tonight. And it needs a large police presence so that, you know, they're not down there. They're not supposed to be there to harass you. You go have your fun. Whatever they're doing, they're there to protect you. And you got to make sure that they protect you.
And you're absolutely right, because I can remember last year being out and about around the area of the lounge, Island Breeze, and people were in the streets, people outside, they were having fun. The police were just out there to control the crowds, and they weren't bothering them. The only time they would actually bother them was actually intervene and step up was when the point when people got to doing absolutely stuff that they should have no business doing. Because like I can remember last year, some young guys were trying to show off to some girls, and I don't know whether you intentionally you were showing off in the Charger, and you floored it and you ran into the back of a police cruiser.
Really?
Yes, you ran into the back of the police cruiser. So when you did that, they searched it. Then they got then now, okay, you've caused an issue. We're gonna arrest you. They searched your car and then whoop de whoop. But that was like some of the crazy. But it was limitlessly not a whole lot of incidents that happened during Orange Crush. No matter how much they may have made it sound, how bad it sound, the incidents that happened during Orange Crush were limited.
Yeah, and it was compared to
St. Patrick's Day with them jumping in the river.
St. Patrick's Day, 3 or 4 days worth of St. Patrick's Day is way worse. Believe me that. But I know what this was though. This was when they stopped that car. These boys, they were going to plant those drugs right there. They were going to take them out there on Friday. So they had on Saturday.
Them boys about to make some money, ain't it? Y'all should have stopped at that Thunderbolt. Y'all just should have stopped at the M-Mark right there in Thunderbolt.
See, that's that bad element, that little bit that makes things bad for and see the news media going to blow it out of proportion. But all these kids, they're 13, 14, 15, they're smoking weed and their parents know it. because they walk in the house, they smell like it.
Yeah.
The school officials, I got some little kids. I had to drop them off to school. I said, y'all going to school smelling like that?
Yeah.
Y'all going to school? The teachers
like
don't care.
Oh no, this is the thing. I had to stop. Now, baby, we had to stop that right there. I don't play that now. Me being the bus driver, I don't play that on the bus now. Because the first time I smell it, I used to hit them with the line. I'd be like, I knew what it was, but I didn't want to bust them out. And I'd be trying to keep them out of trouble and cause the least amount of issues because it's mostly us that be, it's mostly like us that be around. So I'd be like, hey, one of y'all cologne or perfume on here is real loud. You need to do something about that. You need to spray that on about 15, 20 minutes before you come to the bus stop if you're going to do that.
Right.
And guess what? After that, I
That's
smell
real.
it no more. I ain't have to worry about it because I understand. I'm not trying to put. I already understand y'all have enough issues. You feel like the world is against you. I'm trying to be in your corner, let you know that I'm not here. I'm trying to help you and not harm you. Let you know that you got somebody on your side that understands. You're not going. Because I can tell you to stop, and you're not going to stop. You just find a better way to hide it. But I want you to understand. Be responsible with what you're doing.
Right. That's real. That's real.
And I want y'all to know, avidly, I do not promote underage drug use or drinking. Let me
marijuana's not a drug.
Outright.
Marijuana's not a drug. We're not going to have that conversation, but y'all know my stance on that. Y'all let Buddy Carter give out opioids, but but a bell pepper is a drug. Like, come on, people, let's not do this.
Oh, hey, you Buddy Carter. Buddy
ain't your buddy.
We're gonna be back in Patti Hewitt, trying to get her in there as a replacement for Buddy Carter. Buddy got to go because Buddy probably will be going to try to run for governor in about 2 years. He'll probably start his campaign after his next election. Because what the governor got now, he got 2 years left, and then what he gonna be running for? Ossoff seat?
Yeah.
They play.
I know.
Yeah, they talking about president, but I like Brian Kemp. To be a Republican, I like Brian Kemp.
I like Brian Kemp too. I ain't gonna.
Yeah, I like him. But I don't think he is articulate or smart enough to be the president of these United States. I just don't.
How y'all gonna let that? Y'all know that man went to school for agriculture. How y'all gonna tell him he can't be president of the United States?
Well,
and he's a lawyer too, isn't he?
I don't know.
No, he went to school for agriculture.
I think
UGA.
Oh, okay.
Go Dogs. Now I do think he needs to run for Senate, to maybe run for VP, but he's not ready to be a president right now. He just doesn't have the charisma.
Well, I'm gonna tell you,
you don't have the intellect.
See how I said and you don't like it, and then you say he'll have it.
Well, my thing is, he had an intellect. Did you see the bill he wrote about anti-Semitism? That was a
he
direct.
Write it. Somebody.
What I'm saying is,
he was smart enough
to do that.
Just presented it.
Well, I know, but he basically telling Ossoff, I'm going to your community in your face. Now check that.
Yeah. I like Kemp. Ossoff, I had a relationship with him, but I haven't talked to Ossoff since him and Van Johnson got together. So
there it is, Colin. There it is.
I haven't talked to Ossoff since then. So he kind of like turned his back on me. So I don't like people that turn their back on me when I helped you. So I like Brian Kemp. I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's just how it is. If I have an opportunity to help Brian Kemp in that, and he running for that seat, that's where I'm going, because I don't like people who don't know how to return your call when you called them over 2 years ago. So Brian Kemp returned my call. But anyway, anything else? One thing that I did want to show you, I don't know whether I pulled it up or not. It was your cousin, Robert. I don't think I pulled it. Let me see if I got it. I didn't pull it. It's your cousin. He fell asleep in the at trial the other day.
Oh.
And
you also talking about the fact that the man set himself up on fire outside of his cousin trial.
Yeah. The guy that set himself on fire. I didn't have time because I got late. He set himself on fire.
Have a drink.
At the in front of the trial. Donald Trump inside falling asleep.
Trump said we're gonna check me.
But how about this, Lewis? How about this? When the jury went, oh, you did? You say you met Fannie?
No, I said Fannie. Robert said, "Who gonna check me?" Fannie Willis.
Oh. But listen, how about Trump yesterday when the jury walks in? Everybody stands for the jury out of respect. Everybody supposed to stand, except the judge. Trump didn't stand at all either, going or coming when they came in or when they left out. And so Trump thinks that he's really above the law and that he is, and he's inciting people that if he gets convicted, that he wants it to be a war, because all Trump cares about is what? Trump. That's it. He don't care about nothing else. And these idiots anybody that's with Donald Trump, I like Donald Trump with the wall. I think that our borders should be closed off completely and not a damn soul should be able to come over here. That's how I feel. You call me whatever you want to call me, but ain't no damn body need to be coming across our borders to come into these United States. Nobody, because we can't go to no other country and cross their borders without a passport. Nobody should be coming over illegally.
I'm gonna say legally, I'm gonna say they come in illegally, but for other countries, that's not true because it's ways to do anything if you want to do it. Not that I'm gonna say let me always state this, not that I'm condoning doing any of this. But the one thing that we always must realize is that Donald Trump is not Donald Trump that's on trial. It's this that's on trial. Because had this been Obama, baby, we wouldn't even been in this stage of trials. It would have been done.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're about at the end of our broadcast. And we're gonna see what, since there's nothing else. Oh, it was one other thing I wanted to discuss real quick. Did y'all see where this is one of the problems? I don't know where Robert going. I want him to talk about this from his psychology point of view. Where is it? Robert, did you? Oh, okay, I see it. This is what kind of in Atlantic City, the Atlantic City mayor, Marty Small, who knocked out his daughter with a broom and warned her he smacked the weave out of her head. Now, it's the mayor of Atlantic City, New Jersey. I don't have a problem with this mayor doing this. You know why? This is him here. And that's what a black father's gonna tell his kids. He's gonna slap we're gonna slap the black off you. That's his daughter there. She's a little hot ass. And his wife is the school superintendent. His wife is the school superintendent of Atlantic City, in that area, that county. So my problem is they don't allow us to punish our kids no more. No, you should not knock them out. But yes, you should be able to discipline them. What degree of discipline are we allowed these days? Because they come and lock you up. They locked him and his wife up.
I mean, I'm gonna say it like this: with how, because I can think about some of the whoopings and punishments that I got growing up. But now that I think about how these children are today and how to punish them, I'm turning off the Wi-Fi. Don't ask me for no money. No, we can't go here. You about to go in your room and you about to read this book. I'm about to take everything out of here that can entertain you in a different way. Because so when they turn the biblical terminology, spare the rod, spoil the child, we got to change the definition of what the rod is. We may not be able to physically hit them, but we got to hit them where it hurts.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I'm getting ready to go to see my nephew. Speaking of that, y'all, it's ironic because all of my nephews are bigger than me, like 6'4", and they 20s and 30s. And I tell them, I'll beat your ASS in a minute. And they know, because at the end of the day, it's not about fear, but it's a level of respect that you know you don't cross. Even with my dad, there was like people now, why you didn't do this and this? Because there's a level of respect that I have for that man. And there's a level of respect you have for your elders that I think that has been lost. And yeah, I think there's a different approach to the younger people. But even with that, it's, you know, here you are eating and living for free. You ain't got you don't have an opinion.
But Robert, I've been telling my nieces and nephews the same thing since they was little. They want to get mild. They're like, you want to take this out the door? They be like, no. Even to this day, my niece is 20 years old. My nephew is 13. My little cousin 16. I still tell to today, they get mild. They're like, you want to take this out the door? They be like, no. All right, and hush up.
That's right. But we got to be able to. But if they take it out the door, then the first thing when you done beat them down, they're gonna call the police, and then they come and look for you and arrest you. You know, and that's the problem. We're not allowed to discipline our kids. So when they badasses go and do something crazy, then you want to blame the parent. But you're not letting the parent discipline the kids. Now, some of these parents and these kids are so out of control these days that the parents shouldn't hit the kids because these kids will shoot the parent these days. They just that damn crazy. Now, I punch all my kids. I punch all my mentees. I punch them all. Their mama done gave me permission to hit them. You know, my wife tell me I shouldn't hit them. But I knock the hell out of them. They get in line. You know, they with me. They got to act right. You are a reflection of me while you with me. So you go out here acting a fool? No, you with me. You with me for the next 4 hours, you going to act right. So if I got to tap you across the chest to get you right, you know, oh, Mr. Julius, all right, don't make me put my hands. Man, come on. I done wrestle with them, have fun with them. These are my mentees. But they need that strong male
influence,
role model, around them. Because if not, they're not going to respect a female as much as they respect a man. And we need that was their child there. That mayor and his wife, that's their child. And they took her phone and she got really mad and went to acting a crazy and fool, and they whipped their little butt and they got arrested. You got to be able to beat your child. You brought them in the world. You know, you got to take care of them. I tell you what, if y'all don't think I need to beat them, come get them and you take care of them.
Oh, but that causes a whole nother issue, because when you say that they will do that, they won't give you the money to help take care of them, but then they'll take them to somebody else and give them the money to take care of them, and they not going to treat them right because they doing it for the money.
When that little get in his feelings, then what he needs to do is get out my house. You know, and that's what parents got to be. When the police come there and they want to arrest you because you done whipped that child ass to make sure that he don't go out there shooting somebody, you doing the police a favor by whipping it, by making sure he in the house, by holding him by the neck and making sure he sits his ass down instead of out there in the street selling some drugs or shooting at somebody or getting shot. You doing them a favor. Then they want to come and arrest you for doing them a favor? No. See, they got your hands tied and they can't have it both ways. These laws are bad. They're bad. The teacher used to paddle you. They need to go and arrest some of the teachers that used to paddle us. The teachers used to leave bruises on you with that corporal punishment. Bad. Those teachers, I don't know, the statute of limitations are bad, but damn, they need to go get those teachers that done hit us with those boards that wide. Used to give you a paddle.
Man, some of them teachers is gone to meet King Jesus now, so they can't be punished.
Yeah, it's a few of them still around. They need to. But anyway, we appreciate y'all watching. We y'all share. 956 people over 3 platforms. We got them on YouTube, Facebook, and another Facebook page. My Facebook page, Our Black Media Network Facebook page, and YouTube. Y'all share, and get the word out. Watch the show again. It'll be in the rerun tomorrow. And y'all make sure y'all support all our candidates. running for office, the only way we're going to change things is to vote. All right? Any last words, Cotton, before we go?
Y'all stay black, be proud. That's all I'm gonna say for the end of this episode.
All right. Robert is getting ready to go somewhere, and we'll see y'all next Saturday on this show. We'll see you 6 o'clock this evening on Unity Political Action Committee Facebook page with Pastor Small. And we'll see you on next week, all Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays with all our reruns. Okay? Good night or good evening.
Like this.